Assalamu alaikum. You stay down from here when you have a visiting minister and let them say something. You're here with us all the time. I was trying to sneak in here and hear a visiting minister. You love your own home so well you don't want nobody to come in the door. Next time, let us listen to our visiting minister. Let us be seated. Salaam alaikum. My dear beloved brothers and sisters, in the name of Allah, we are very happy to see each other smiling and frowning faces this afternoon. I don't say we have too many frowning faces, because I'm kind of sort of like a stage fella. I make people laugh. I don't make them frown. Yes. I'm sorry that I'm a little later than usual. But I didn't want to come out here and look at the benches, chairs. I would go somewhere else. I think I can get a crowd mostly anywhere if I tell them I'm here. We are living in the day of judgment, and that we are forever on that subject. We are not taking any subject what we don't add the judgment to it. We have been teaching on the theology of time. Of course, that is our subject all the time. The coming of Allah and the presence of Allah. We like to know, why should Allah come? What does He want with us? Why is it so important that He come in person? We must remember that we have been taught that God was a spirit and that you can't see Him. A lot of our people believe, like you have it written there by the enemy, you can't see God and live. The God of freedom, justice, and equality is who we want to see to live. The God that we can't see is the God that won't let us live. First, I would like to say to you, we enjoyed for our visitor on yesterday the Sultan of Ethiopia. He had dinner with us, and we really had a big time. He was laughing when he come in, and he was laughing when he left. Oh, he's a great man. He and his company of interpreters of the English language for him, he was really happy. I'm going to try and visit him again. I have been to Ethiopia. Addis Ababa, they call it sometimes. We say Addis Ababa. And I'm going to his mosque there. looked at it when I was there, but I didn't go in. But if I go back to Ethiopia, I'm going to visit that mosque. It is the beautifulest, the most building there in the city. Excuse me. I guess I love to talk too much, and I always get the highway kind of choked up. I told him next time I go to Ethiopia, I was going to visit that mosque up here. But after you get the new Islam that Allah is teaching us in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, you're not so particular about going to hear Islam nowhere but among yourself. We have been here a long time in America, not even known by our brothers where we was kidnapped from. So today we want to get acquainted with our old brothers to whom our enemies kidnapped us from, to bring us up in this, bring us out here in this wilderness of the nations of the earth. Of all the wilderness, this is the most wildest country and people there is on earth. We may say the jungle holds the wildest people. They actually is naturally wild. But this is a country supposed to be civilized and yet wild. So we are living in a country that the Bible calls the wilderness. It's a wilderness of sin, not of refined civilization, but a wilderness of the worst evil and sinful people ever lived on the earth. People that have no moral love for self or anyone else. Terrible country. I have come here today to talk with you maybe on various things, not just one thing, but lots of things. I would like to know before I start how many visiting ministers do we have here? I don't care what kind of ministry you are. I just want to know who I'm talking to. Will you stand, please, you visiting ministers? Tell us so. What's the denomination? Church? Two. Oh, there should be no ministers here. Only 3. If you want me to visit you, you better visit me. I'm kind of an old fellow like this. I love to talk with you. I love to try to make friendship with you. If there's anything wrong with my preaching, tell me so. If there's anything wrong with yours, I'm going to tell you. if you have proof that yours is right, I will join you today. I won't go back and think it over. I will join you today. If yours is not mine, and yet it's right, then mine must be wrong. So I would join you today. But brother, you will have to prove. I was brought up in a Baptist church. When I was a little boy, my father was a preacher at that time, and I was in his church. I used to sit on minister's lap because my grandmother, she would let me go up in the pulpit with my father, and he wouldn't run me out because I was a very spiritual little boy myself. I loved to hear people preach, but I didn't love to hear no one sing. When I was a little boy, 2 or 3 years old, going up there in the speaker stand with my father, when they started to singing, I would cry. They would frighten me. So my grandmother taking me out and giving me a spanking a couple of times, I learned to try to keep my mouth shut. I guess that's why I don't have no singing in my temple. The presence of God, great becoming of God, the presence of God. What is the idea of God in coming? What is he coming here for? Why does he want to come to us? Since we've been invited. We have never invited God to come to us, only in the wrong way. We wanted him to come to us in our heart. What do we know that is going in our heart? If we've never seen God, don't know God, if he come to us, how could he get to us since we don't recognize his presence? We have not been taught to look for a God coming in person. We have been taught to look for God coming in a spiritual form. So that's the kind of form we have been receiving. We've never seen God before in person. We always have been praying, singing, preaching for him to come to us, but in the spirit, but not in the person. Would we recognize him if he come in person? No, we don't know him like that. Well, how about praying for him to come in the spirit? That's a field. Well, you can name God's field. He tells us in Psalms to feel for him. I'm a fellow, I like to go to the root of things. You have been praying for God to come. The majority of us. We pray that you come to me. Well, if we did not believe he would come in person, what are we praying for then? It's a field. I want him to hear my prayer, and I can feel him in my soul. Well, if the person comes to you, then in person, and tell you, I have heard your prayer, I'm here to answer it, then what? Why? You would say, no. I didn't sin for you. You look like me. Well, then, who would you accept? You know, we can have a lot of fun offering one another when we don't notice it. I used to go to church, and the preacher would preach that hellfire. Looked like to me so plain I'd be afraid to go home. I mean, they could preach it in those days. Now that they have come far to light upon those who are not the righteous. Now you don't preach it much because you're a little guilty. You think you also would teach one of them. Well, that's right. The older we get, the wiser we get in this civilization, and more understanding into that which we use to believe. The presence of God, how do we know when God is present? What is the ideal of God coming? He is represented by the prophet as coming, speaking his own. Who is his own? We used to believe this wrong. Anybody that has got you forgiven for their sins, that's the way we used to believe. His own here, biblically and Holy Quran, is representing a people that is his own people. And that people had went astray from him. There are so many parables the Bible picks up to show us an idea of what the people look like and their characteristics. So we have been told by parables that we are like a man who had two sons. And the younger son wanted to go, leave his father, go into a far country, live for himself, out of the law of the family's life. So his father willingly let him go, for he knows the country and the people of that country. He knows one day the son will want to get back. And Jesus put the parable so clear. He said, at last, in that land, where this son, who did not want to live under the good law of his family, a famine arose. And when the famine arose, he became in want. Could not get a job, could not get bread and meat, so he lifted up his eyes towards his father's house. He said, I will arise and go to my father. He said, I will arise and go to my father. He had great despair. Why should I suffer here? He made up his forgiving word, I will say unto him that I am not worthy to be called your son. Make me a servant. Don't tell him who I am in words he was saying, that I am one of your sons. You're too great for a man like me to come in reaching out for the respect of the family and other people by saying that I am your son. These are very beautiful scriptures. Very beautiful. I am not worthy to be called your son. Make me a servant of yours, not a son. I'm not fit for that kind of honor. Father said, oh, come on, son. I will represent you. So he got near the house. He still felt too cheap to go in the family home. So his brother looked out and saw father coming up with this little bad, contrary son, his brother. He said, come on in. Let's make merry. But your brother has come home. He's fondly present of his brother. He lived with rough and scandalous people.